Hi again. I'm sitting here with Carol Hannum, and Dr. Hannum is the founder and creator of something called the Holon Method. And she's written a book about it, which teaches you how to apply the Holon Method for self-healing, and she also trains people as professional healers in the Holon Method. Dr. Hannum can be reached at, and you can get more information about her book and her method at www.holonmethod.com. Okay, so we're back, and I wanted to ask you about, we've got a lot of health challenges, and we hear all the statistics and the scary stories every day, but what do you think is the biggest health challenge we've got going today?
Well, I think it's environmental illness is the basis of a lot of things. There's just a lot of pathogens and toxins walking around in the world that people absorb like sponges. And they don't know that they have absorbed them and have symptoms. Could be heart disease, cancer, diabetes, etc.
Okay.
Lyme is a very big one. There are people that are coming down with it in droves.
Yeah.
And that's a very easy one to resolve.
Well then, let's go there. How does
Okay.
the Holon Method work on an environmentally caused condition or disease? What would your approach be?
Okay, the approach first would be to make an assessment of all the pathogens and toxins in the body, so I can get a good idea of what they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I ask them questions about their background and, what they've done, if they've been exposed to chemicals and so forth. And one was exposed to microbes, actually, in a lab. Came down with all kinds of stuff. So the environmental, shall we say, disease is really the basis for everything. And the Lyme, for instance, can be very easily taken care of. And also in the analysis, I forgot something, that I check all the organs of the body, see if there's any tumors there, any markers, and then check how the fluids are going, if there's the assimilation is a problem, if there's a detox, is the bowel clean or not. In most of these cases of really severe environmental illness, they have trouble detoxing. They have saunas, they do saunas, and that's helpful, but not really, it really doesn't do the job. So what is really needed first is a bowel cleanse. And that paves the way, you take the plug out of the drain.
Right, or unpaves the way, as you might say.
Unpaves the way. And so the toxins that are held in the body are released. And of course, the non-release of toxins is nature's way of protecting the body because it could go too fast.
Yes.
So the bowel cleanse is the big thing, and then after that, then I do the Holon does a total cleanse.
Okay. So what would it be like, let's say I came in for an appointment. You've already touched on let me just put it this way, it seems very comprehensive, the Holon Method, that you do such an in-depth assessment. What would an actual appointment be like if I were to come in and I think I understand that you also work at a distance. I don't have to be present, but let's say I came in for a treatment. What would it feel like and look like?
Okay. Well, first I would ask you to fill out an intake form with some short medical history and what you've done, what you've eaten, and what you don't eat. And then I take a look at that, and then I take a look at my analysis sheet, and I can scan the body. First I scan the body and get a general impression of where the target area is. And I hone in on that to find out, say, the target area is in the middle of the body, which it usually is. And so I hone in on that, and with kinesiology, I can narrow it down to maybe a couple of organs or the whole digestive system or whatever. And then I look for genetic weakness, and I make marks on paper about where there is genetic weakness. And I make marks on the paper if I find any tumors or anything like that, any bulges and hernias, excess fluid. I take a look at the blood. The blood can be a real marker of what's going on. Like the blood can be too thick, usually. And this is a sign that the person is not getting fluids, is not assimilating electrolytes,
Okay.
etc.
Okay. And then with all this assessment, then you move into a form of treatment, and maybe you can just briefly describe
Yeah,
what that's like.
okay. Well, first I do the emotional commands, and that's balancing the body electrically and magnetically, and balance both sides of the body, parasympathetic and sympathetic, voluntary and autonomic nervous systems. So that I tested that needs to be done before any physical healing will occur.
I see, yeah.
So I go through the emotional commands, and sometimes I will do some emotional work on somebody who is really an obvious candidate and is not going to a therapist. And then after that, I start doing the cleansing, the physical cleansing commands. Allergy clearing, that's one thing that this has done. This is really good. And the rest of the commands, all until command 19. So I say those in sequence, and we'll say them with maybe pauses in between, so I let their high self work. And meanwhile, I'm saying the commands to them either out loud or telepathically.
Okay.
So
And would this be the same then if I was in the room or not in the room? You would be pretty much doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
Even absentee or
yeah,
at a distance. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
because I could get your energetic signature just by talking to you, and maybe a face, a good headshot, and also date of birth. So I could get those three things. But I get a lot from the voice.
Yes. Okay.
So it can happen as close as your hand, or on Mars, or other planets.
I'm not there yet. I just want to ask you one other quick question.
Okay.
And I know you've said this to me before, but Holon doesn't substitute for medical care. So
Right.
how do you hold that for
Okay.
your clients?
Okay, well, I usually tell them about that disclaimer and encourage them to see a medical professional for confirmation and testing. And that's what I do, and I don't promise cures, make no promises about this is going to cure you overnight.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been a delight.
Hey, it's been a delight here.